While India on Tuesday for the first time admitted to have held diplomatic talks with the Taliban, an Indian envoy met a Taliban leader in Doha. The meeting took place following a request by the new rulers of Afghanistan. Vishnu Shom has the details.
But what is now taking place is an official confirmation from the External Affairs Ministry of a meeting having taken place between our ambassador in Qatar and Stanikzai, the Taliban leader, Sher Mohammad Abbas Stanikzai, the head of the Taliban's political office. This took place in Doha. Now, what was discussed was important. Discussions on the safety, security and early return of Indians was something that was looked at very, very carefully. India has also raised the entire issue of Afghan soil not being allowed to perpetrate acts of terror or be used in any way against the interests of any other country. And India believes that these discussions did take place from a positive standpoint. The group has been meeting regularly over the last couple of days, and we are told that they will continue to meet very regularly over the last few days to monitor that situation on the ground. India, of course, obviously now reaching out to the Taliban. The big question is, in a finite period of time, will there be a resumption of the Indian embassy in Kabul?
Now, the other big story, 9 new Supreme Court judges, including 3 women judges, were administered their oath of office by Chief Justice N.V. Ramana on Tuesday morning. This is the first time in the history of the India's highest court that 9 judges have been sworn in at one time.
I, Abhay Srinivas Ok, Vikram Nath,
having been appointed a judge of the Supreme Court of India, do swear in the name of God
that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India.
The first time in the history of the top court that 9 judges took oath of office at one go to clear a massive, almost 2-year backlog in which no appointments were made. The ceremony, which is traditionally held in the Chief Justice of India's courtroom, was held today in the auditorium of the Supreme Court due to COVID protocols. 3 out of these 9 new judges are in line to become Chief Justice of India: Justice Vikram Nath, Justice P.S. Narasimha and Justice B.V. Nagaratna. Justice B.V. Nagaratna will become the first woman Chief Justice of India in 2027. This is also the first time that 3 women judges took oath of office in one go: Justices Hema Kohli, Bela Trivedi and B.V. Nagaratna. The 9 newly appointed judges are Justice Abhay Oka,
appointed a judge of the Supreme Court of India,
Having been appointed a judge of the Supreme Court of India,
Vikram Nath,
Justice Vikram Nath,
having been appointed a judge of the Supreme Court of India,
having been appointed a judge of the Supreme Court of India,
do swear in the name of God,
a judge of the Supreme
Justice J.K.
do
Maheshwari,
swear in the name of God,
do swear in the name of God
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established,
I will uphold
Justice Hema
the
Kohli,
sovereignty and integrity of India.
that I will duly and faithfully, to the best of my ability, knowledge and judgment, I,
Justice B.V. Nagaratna,
Travaya Nagaratna,
having been appointed a judge of the Supreme Court of India,
having been appointed a judge of the Supreme Court of India,
do swear in the name of God,
Justice C.T. Ravi Kumar,
having been appointed a judge of the Supreme Court of India,
having been appointed a judge of the Supreme Court of India,
do swear in the name of God, I,
Justice M.M. Sundaresh,
Sundaresh,
having been appointed a judge of the Supreme Court of India,
having been appointed as judge of the Supreme Court of India,
do swear in the name of God,
Justice Bela Trivedi,
having been appointed a judge of the Supreme Court of India,
having been appointed a judge of Supreme Court of India,
Justice P.S. Narasimha,
having been appointed a judge of the Supreme Court of India,
having been appointed a judge of the Supreme Court of India, that I will duly and faithfully.
With these new appointments, the strength of judges in the Supreme Court will increase from 24 to 33 with just 1 vacancy pending. In New Delhi, this is Sukirti Dwivedi for NDTV.
India's GDP shot up to 20.1%, rising in this April to June period or the first quarter of 2021-22. The growth is a recovery from the negative growth which was witnessed during the corresponding period of the last fiscal, when it was a dismal minus 24.4%, mainly due to coronavirus-induced lockdowns. The improvement in the June quarter GDP rate, despite the onslaught of the fierce second wave of the pandemic, suggests that the country's economy recovered rapidly after registering negative growth for the first 2 quarters of 2020-21.
So as seen in the GDP numbers and in several of the high frequency indicators that I've covered, the economic recovery is gathering momentum. The macroeconomic fundamentals being much stronger as a result of the measures that have been taken over the last year and a half. The GDP data for the first quarter reaffirms the government's prediction of the imminent V-shaped recovery that we had made last year at this time. This prediction was based on the fundamentals of the economy being strong.
Let's now shift focus to COVID. India witnessed a record daily vaccinations on Tuesday with over 1.2 crore jabs being given. This is the second time in the last 5 days that daily vaccination figures have crossed 1 crore mark. Over 65 crore total jabs have been given so far. First dose, over 50 crore people have got their first dose, and nearly 15 crore people have got their second dose so far. And on a day, West Bengal vaccinated a record 11 lakh people in one single day, its highest ever so far in the pandemic. A stampede-like situation at a vaccination center left nearly 30 people injured, at least 5 of them seriously, and these people are still in hospital. The incident took place at a school in Dhupguri block of the Jalpaiguri district in North Bengal. 5 people are in hospital. Schools and colleges in the national capital are all set to reopen on Wednesday. For the moment, the schools are opening for classes 9 to 12. The Delhi government has said that no student will be forced to attend physical classes. So what will the new normal be like in schools? Sonakshi Chakravarti finds out.
After nearly 17 months, schools in the national capital prepare to reopen, but with strict COVID protocols in place.
The students and parents both are very happy. Proper social distancing will be maintained at the gate itself, besides the welcoming them. No exchange of notebooks and lunch and all those items will be permitted in the class.
So what will be the new normal for schools and colleges once they reopen? The guidelines for Delhi schools and colleges are mandatory thermal screening, staggered lunch breaks, alternate seating arrangement, 50% seating per classroom, mandatory isolation room in school premises. Those living in containment zones will not be allowed to go to schools and colleges. The new norms include an isolation room for students. This Delhi government school, for example, has approximately 2,800 students. Those returning to school tomorrow will have to bring along the consent form.
Any increase in the temperature, the student will be taken to the isolation room.
Most of the students here are from underprivileged backgrounds living in slum areas.
अब वो हमारी भी इच्छा हो रही है, बच्चों की भी इच्छा है कि हम वो वापस उस पेंसिल को पकड़ें, बच्चों को ड्रॉ करवाएं. बच्चों से कनेक्ट नहीं कर पा रहे थे. कई बार होता है कि जो बच्चों के माइंड में आता है वो सोशल मीडिया पे वो इतना एक्टिव नहीं है, उनके पास गैजेट्स नहीं है.
Though the Delhi government has said colleges can also open, several principals we spoke to said they did not have a formal communication yet on reopening tomorrow.
So we are waiting for some instructions from the university to come, and then only we'll decide upon it. Cheerful environment, that lively environment, that life in the college we are missing.
After nearly 17 months, students will be entering into a classroom tomorrow in schools and colleges, adhering to strict COVID-appropriate behavior. But the question is, how strictly will these protocols be implemented and, most importantly, be followed? With camera person Sushil Rathi in Delhi, Sonakshi Chakravarti for NDTV.
The Telangana High Court has imposed conditions for the reopening of schools from Wednesday and has stayed the government order that says residential schools and hostels can open. The court said that parents cannot be forced to send students to school for physical classes, and schools also cannot be forced to conduct physical classes. Umar Sudhir reports.
Schools across Telangana being cleaned up, sanitized and made ready for reopening on the 1st of September. After the state government said Anganwadi, schools and colleges can start holding physical classes with 100% attendance from Wednesday.
हमारा को हायर ऑफिसर से इंस्ट्रक्शंस आए जो हमारा हैदराबाद में जितने भी स्कूल्स है उन लोगों को क्लीनिंग करने के लिए, उसी के वजह अपना हमारा सर्कल 30 में जितने भी स्कूल्स है गवर्नमेंट के पूरा हम क्लीनिंग करा रहे, सैनिटेशन भी करा रहे और झाड़ू वो पूरा करा रहे, नीट रख रहे.
On a plea that questioned the reopening of schools for primary classes, even as a third wave is imminent, the Telangana High Court stayed the reopening of residential schools and hostels. The court also said students cannot be compelled to attend physical classes. Parents cannot be forced to give written consent. Neither students nor parents can be penalized for not attending offline classes. Schools to be given the choice of opting for online or offline teaching. The Telangana government decided to reopen schools after the health department said the second COVID wave is over, and the education department said students were being psychologically impacted because no schools were open. The court has now asked the government to come up with detailed SOPs within a week. In Hyderabad, with camera person Nagaraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
Welcome back. A total of 7 people, including the son of an MLA, died in a car accident in Kodamangala in the Bengaluru city in the early hours of Tuesday. The Audi car they were travelling in crashed into an electric pole. The police said that no one in the car was wearing a seat belt. Nihal Kidwai reports.
It was all over in seconds for the occupants of this car. A CCTV clip from Kodamangala shows the moment the car crashed. A wheel flying off after hitting a pole at a great speed. The Audi Q3 with a VIP number went over a footpath and smashed into a building. The state of the vehicle, an indication of the speed at which they were hurtling through the Bengaluru streets at 2:30 a.m.
You won't find one single airbag inside. Why did it not get inflated? It is also under investigation. But one seat belt here is intact. As you can see, it shows that at least the occupant who were next to the driver was not wearing the seat belt. The steering is here, and see the condition of the car, how badly it is damaged. It claimed 7 lives.
6 of the 7, all in their 20s and including an MLA's son, died on the spot. The 7th died on the way to the hospital.
It seems the preliminary investigation shows he lost the control and dashed against the footpath, went on to the footpath, then he dashed against the wall. The car was crushed, they were not wearing seat belt, no air balloon was opened.
Karun Sagar, son of Hosur MLA Prakash, was among those who died on the spot. All of them were returning to Hosur after participating in a family function in Bengaluru. Police are now investigating if the driver was drunk.
Very unfortunate incident. The main reason seems to be the rash, negligent and speeding of the vehicle. As I already told you, 7 people, 4 men and 3 women are killed. Case is registered, we are investigating it.
Adigudi Traffic Police have registered a case of rash and negligent driving, and it is also being investigated whether those who were occupants of the car under the influence of liquor or not. With camera person Kumar, Nihal Kidwai for NDTV.
And finally, news from the Paralympics. India bagged 3 medals on Tuesday at the Paralympics 2021 at Tokyo, with high jumpers Mariyappan Thangavelu and Sharad Kumar winning silver and bronze respectively, while shooter Singaraj Adhana winning the bronze in air pistol event. NDTV's Rika Roy spoke with the high jumpers.
Well, it is that moment that India had been long waiting for. Double-digit medals from Olympic Games. It didn't happen in Tokyo 2020 Olympics, but it has happened at the Paralympic Games. Mariyappan Thangavelu and Sharad Kumar have got India the 9th and the 10th medal, a silver and a bronze. Guys, many congratulations to you. Mariyappan,
yeah, ma'am.
Talk us through the moment you got the medal. What was going through your mind?
Yeah, I'm very happy, ma'am. Silver medal थोड़ा मिडल गोल्ड मेडल मिस हो गया, थोड़ा राइन ज्यादा आ रहा है, थोड़ा डिस्टर्ब हो गया टेकअप में एंड थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो गया. The next Olympics में gold and record कर रहा.
Sharad, would you say it's a redemption for you, the bronze medal?
I would say it is a promotion for me, at least the fact that I've got a medal, whereas that slide I was expecting nothing. I was crying literally with a injury I was going through. Maybe it was not a big injury as people say, but in sports, like, right, one day before your competition, even if there is a scratch on your forehead, you feel like there is a tear. So that was what I was going through. And I think going through a medal was something extra, which I am actually happy about. Initially, I cried a lot last night. Nice that, but expecting like how Mariappan was also having his view that he would win a gold. We were also very well prepared. For the last 5 years, been training outside in Ukraine. It was like, come on, we have to get something better. But nevertheless, Paralympics medal is a medal and we have to acknowledge it and be happy with it. So yeah, it was a nice time. And first year listed from West Bengal, nobody's done it. I've done it. And it's something so nice about, and that's the fact that, West Bengal doesn't promote sports is another sad part. They need to do, like Swapna Burman was there when she did something and then they were just giving us such a less reward. We have to promote this in West Bengal too.
That's it on this bulletin from the entire team. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.